Channel 19 Game of the Week, featuring the Stoneman Douglas Eagles versus the Plantation Colonels. Hi everybody, I'm Sean Alvashar, joined alongside by the former head coach at Coconut Creek High School, Al Milton. Well, tonight's contest might be the best game of the week here in Broward County. Plantation versus Douglas. First, let's start with Plantation, Coach. Last year they went 12-0 before they finally lost in the state quarterfinals to the eventual state champion, Miami Northwestern. This is a team over the past 3 years has gone the next step, but they lost some key people. What are they going to have to do to rebuild and get to that form this season?
Well, coming off the season they've had last year, and like I say, they've come to another level every time they get into the last 3 years. This year they're going to have to concentrate, a young team, building on what they had last year. They're probably going to make a few mistakes early in the season and just hope that they can be prepared and be ready to go by the time they get down to the district play. Obviously, they've got a lot of talent, and it's going to be a real big coaching job for Coach Frank Heffler.
Now we turn to the other side of the field, and Stoneman Douglas. They've been around for less than a decade, and they've built an incredible winning tradition in that time, and a lot of that credit has to go to their head coach, Jim Matheson. Coach, they've won their last 3 district championships, and arguably the toughest district in Broward County, District 11. What do they have to do to win their 4th consecutive district crown?
Well, I think early on in the inception of Douglas, they learned a lot with the teams they were playing. I think right now what you're going to be looking at, though, is nobody's going to be able to take them lightly, and they haven't for the last couple of years. Coach Matheson does a great job. He's got good talent. They're well coached. Don't make a lot of mistakes. Very fundamentally sound football club. Every team they play is going to be geared up to play them. So it's going to be a hard thing to repeat 4 times. If anyone can do it, I think Douglas probably can.
Well, it should be a good one. Remember, Plantation won this game easily last year up at Douglas 24-3. So it's the Continental Cablevision Channel 19 Game of the Week featuring the Stoneman Douglas Eagles versus the Plantation Colonels, and it's next.
Your birthday, that is what I've been told. What a wonderful birthday, you're 1 more year old. On the cake there'll be candles, I'll light it for you. And the whole world is singing, happy birthday to you.
If you don't stop someone from driving drunk, who will? Do whatever it takes.
Math, a 4-letter word, right? Hey, you don't need that.
Why design the world's newest chips?
When you could be flipping the world's oldest burgers. Hey, wait a minute. This is math. Geometry, algebra.
No pocket protectors here.
But you're cruising without math. Yeah, right. Take a good look.
That's math staring back at you.
It's not a problem, man. It's an answer. Call NACME. We'll tell you what you need to do.
My gosh. Here we go.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to PAL Field for the start of the Continental Cablevision Channel 19 Game of the Week. Plantation will be kicking off to Stoneman Douglas. The kicking duties will be handled by number 16, Piero Intriago. And back to receive the kick, Mark Cunningham and Rob Randall. This ball will be picked up by Mark Cunningham, and Cunningham is going to be down the sidelines, knocked out of bounds. Knocks down the chains, the cheerleader, and everything else. So that's where Douglas will begin the game at the 26-yard line.
Not a bad return that time, Sean. When he picked up the ball, it looked for a minute that the ball might be going out of bounds. Of course, from here we don't have a very good angle on it, but picked it up and turned about maybe 8, 10, 12 yards more on the return. It looked like it was going to die inside their 20.
Well, the quarterback for Stoneman Douglas will be Alan Cadiz. He replaces Danny O'Malley, the Broward All-County quarterback from a year ago. Tough shoes to fill. His wideouts tonight will be number 2, Willem Lemonnier, and Gerald Burley. We'll get to some of the rest of the starting lineup after this play. 1st and 10. And Cadiz immediately gets it off to number 42, Cherkinski, and he's brought down in a hurry. Brought down by number 45, Albert Salas, and number 44, Dwight Perkins.
Cherkinski's a load coming out. They had a little shift right before the snap there and switch that that little wing formation over to the left side. Plantation did a good job of picking Jerkinski up. He shed that first block, but looked like that linebacker stepped up and filled though and went ahead and held him for very little gain. That's a mighty big running back.
The backs for Douglas. Number 42, you saw him carry the ball, Josh Jerkinski, and the other running back will be number 26, Dom Sansoni. This time the ball is handed off to number 45, Glenn Dowling, and Dowling tries to turn the corner, but nowhere to be going. There you see number 44, Dwight Perkins, once again in on the tackle.
Well, Perkins did a nice job on the ball that time by scraping on off and getting to the outside. It was a good play fake by the quarterback. Pulled the interior lineman and some of the right side in there with him. So pretty nice job on that 50 front that Plantation is running right now to keep the play inside and stop it for very little, looked like maybe a half a yard.
Well, there's no secret that Coach Jim Matheson likes to run the football. The only man in the backfield right now is number 42, Josh Jerkinski. Cadiz back to pass to the outside, finds number 26, Dom Sansoni, but he's going to be brought down. Brought down by number 19, the strong safety, Robert Crum.
Well, it's going to be tough to pick up all those receivers out here. He had 3 receivers to this left side and 1 into the flat. That was a hard assignment in that 50 front. Get a linebacker out there that had to pick up the flat. So we might see him go to that quite a bit tonight until he opens them up and pushes them back away from him a little bit.
Well, the play picked up about 7 yards, but it will not be nearly enough for a first down. So back to handle the punting duties for Douglas. Well, if he'd move his arms, maybe I can tell you who he was. The punting's off, and it's handled. The kick is off by Glenn Dowling, and the ball will be rolling down to the 10. And finally, the ball will be down by Greg Henriquez. So Plantation will start their first series on offense from the 9-yard line.
Outstanding punt that time. Looked like Douglas got down. They had excellent coverage downfield. In fact, I thought the ball was going to hit. I believe it was number 4 coming down, but ended up being somewhere around a 50, 55-yard punt. Might have even been a little bit more than that, but turned over well and got a nice roll out of it.
So Plantation comes out on offense. They are led by their quarterback, number 13, Ryan Schneider. And the ball is immediately handed to their up back, number 6, Travis Madison. And Madison maybe picks up 3 yards before he is brought down.
Well, we'll see what Plantation's going to do for the first few plays. Looks like they may try to go ahead and attack right up the middle.
There you see the Plantation Colonel defense. I have a correction, however. Number 8, John Campbell is the man carrying the ball, and he did pick up 3 yards. O'Neal Sandiford is in the backfield. And he's the one going to get the ball. And Sandiford is brought down in a hurry. Might have actually lost a yard. And that'll set up 3rd and 7.
We had tremendous penetration that time, not only by the tackles. The end turned that play or got in, didn't even let the play develop. And you had your inside, strong side linebacker came across, was right in there on the ball.
And there you see the offense. Fairchild, Schneider, Madison, Sandiford, and the wide receiver, Dakari Finley. The kicker, Piero Intriago, Kevin Beard, the halfback, Andrew Porter, the linebacker. And we'll get to the rest of the starting lineup when we can. This time the pass is attempted to their tight end, number 87, Dosey McBride, but it bounces off his pads, and that'll bring a 4th down for the Colonels. 3 and out.
Yeah, the Colonels tried to do the same thing that Douglas did on their pass play that time, and threw the little out pattern. Looked like it developed well, but the Douglas defense is a little different style defense, and they've got 4 under.
There you see the tight end who dropped the ball just a second ago, Dosey McBride, and the rest of the offense. So out to handle the punting duties for Plantation will be number 88, Sean Thompson. And he gets off a high spiraling kick. Fair catch is going to be called for by number 26 for the Stoneman Douglas Eagles, Dom Sansoni. And a very productive defensive series for Douglas. For now, they will start in Plantation territory with the ball being placed on the 43-yard line. Flags, however, are on the play. We'll have to wait and see what the call will be.
Well, we just found out in both series opening drives on these that we've got 2 good punters here. The difference being that Douglas's punt was able to hit the ground and take a nice roll.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a roughing the kicker penalty. We'll get the information from our referee in just a moment.
Sean, a big break for Plantation that time. Punter was on his own goal line when he punted the ball, and obviously Douglas had won the battle on the two punts and gained field position. So a real big break for Plantation that time.
So the Plantation offense comes back out on the field. O'Neal Sandiford and John Campbell in the backfield, and this time the ball is given to Sandiford, who weaves his way spinning before being brought down by a host of Eagles, and he probably picked up 6 yards on a play where it looked like he may have only gotten 1.
Yeah, it didn't look like the play was going to develop very well there, and made a move right there by the tackle and cut to the outside just a bit and almost shook one of the linebackers. For a minute broke free. So the outside backer on the weak side came back in and helped bring the tackle down. So again, like I say, it was a big play for him with 5 or 6 yards.
Well, remember the penalty. This puts Plantation in much more workable field position. And right now the only back in the backfield is John Campbell. And he's the one going to get the ball, and he slides off the right side. He picks up about 6 yards, and that should be more than enough for the first down.
Well, it was. They actually ran away from the blitz. They called it into the weak side on that. Douglas had a blitz on the outside, wide side backer coming in. So it was a nice play call by Plantation. Ran away from the blitz.
Sandiford and Campbell once again in the I formation. Kevin Beard in motion. Once again, Campbell gets the ball, and he breaks into the secondary. He breaks a tackle. Campbell needs to outrun one player, and he will do it. Campbell will be into the end zone. Touchdown, Plantation.
Well, I'll tell you what, Campbell picked up that last, made a nice move in the line there, but Campbell did a great job of running that time. Got across, moved away from the free safety, and then had to run, outrun one person, got by him, although the tackle was almost made, jumped over him, went around, and probably have it on the monitor in a minute, but did an outstanding job there of eluding that last tackle and not going down.
Intriago out to handle the extra point. It's up. And it is good. So, with 7:02 remaining here in the first quarter of play, the Plantation Colonels take the lead over the Stoneman Douglas Eagles 7-0. Let's take a look at this, Coach.
Well, you've got the replay coming right here. Free safety had a chance, looked like, to make the tackle. He broke away, did a good job. Actually, one of his own men kind of knocked him off. He's got to beat one man right here, it looks like. And if you watch it as it develops down around the 10-yard line, it looks like the tackle's going to be made. Running back number 8 does a good job. A little stiff arm there. You don't see that much anymore. Stayed on his feet, got his balance, and was able to go ahead and get into the end zone. And again, that goes back to show you a costly mistake against Stoneman Douglas on the roughing the kicker, gave him roughing the punter, gave him a first down. Plantation capitalizes on it. Two great teams are going to have to watch mistakes. That may be the difference in a game on two well-coached teams.
And that's very odd for a Stoneman Douglas team, because rarely do they beat themselves.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of mistakes. They're a well-coached team, a lot of talent, a lot of good players out there, and they really don't make too many mistakes.
Well, Intriago out to handle the kickoff duties, back to receive the kick for Stoneman Douglas will be number 24, Mark Cunningham, and number 31, Rob Randall. If you're just joining us, you missed John Campbell run 60 yards for a touchdown to put the Colonels up 7-0. The ball is handled by Mark Cunningham. And Cunningham has nowhere to go. The ball will be placed on the 16-yard line. And that's where Douglas will begin its second offensive series of the night.
Well, a big effort on that kickoff team that time. I think when the whistle blew, that looked to me like there was about 8 red jerseys in on the tackle. There was no place for the running back to go to, and fielded the ball on the 5. So a big effort. And I think that's something that Douglas is going to have to take Plantation out quick and get this emotion back on their side and cut them down a little bit.
So the ball is handed to Cherkinski, who goes up the middle. Looks like he might have picked up 7 yards, and that'll set up a 2nd and 3.
Well, nice little fake carried out there by the quarterback, and again, that's holding the 2 outside guys. That's holding them pretty true for Plantation. So Cherkinski, again, big, strong running back, one of the best in the county, and you know, they're going to have to try to hold him inside and just limit his gain and not get too excited about him picking up what he picks up.
So once again, Cherkinski's the ball carrier, and he looks like he has enough for the 1st down.
I think what we're seeing right now, Sean, is Douglas knows they've got a workhorse back there. They're deep in backed up in their own area. Give it to the big fullback. Let him make the yardage. Be happy with 3-4 yards a down. Get out to where you've got some breathing room. Knowing Jim Mathis, he'll come to the air in a couple more plays here, though, once he gets out past probably the 30.
This time the ball is handed to Glenn Dowling, and Dowling takes it, trying to turn it outside. But he'll be brought down by a host of Plantation Colonels, led by number 19, Robert Crum.
Well, I think we saw something then that we saw a little bit last week. It's kind of hard to tell sometime from up here, but it looks like Plantation certainly doesn't have maybe a lack of speed. They had good speed last year, and of course we saw a lot of speed on the game we did last week with Deerfield and them.
Let's take a look at this once again.
I think we'll see that speed for Plantation scrape to the outside, try to break it to the outside, can't ever quite turn the corner. Good block there, it looked like on the end. See the running back coming around. He can't quite turn it, gets bottled in here. The corner came up well, looked like the free safety came up and gave a lot of support. 3 guys in on the tackle, just no place to go.
The rest of the Douglas starting offense, let's go up front. First, let's start with the left tackle, number 73, Scott Davis. At guard, number 54, Dan Zwilling. The center is number 71, Tony Jameson. The right guard tonight will be number 52, Tony Abraham, and the right tackle will be number 70, Joe Caspar. We already mentioned the wide receivers, Gerald Burley and William LeMonnier. The tight end will be number 84, John Brown, and in the backfield, number 42, Josh Cherkinski, and number 26, Dom Sansoni. The starting defense for the Plantation Colonels up front, Corey Jordan, Reggie Wilson, Fred Stirrup, and Roberto McCalla. The linebackers tonight, Albert Salas, Dwight Perkins, and Bill Keefhaber. We'll get to the rest of that in just a minute. This time the ball is handed to number 26, Dom Sansoni. And he has nowhere to go.
Well, interesting little play. I don't know if we had this on the replay. It looked like a little reverse action there. It looked like the ball was handed out to Cherkinski, and he came around and then handed it back off on an inside handout. Everybody was flowing with the big fullback, but Sansoni, linebacker, stepped up, did plug the hole. A little trick play by Coach Mathis.
So 3rd and 12 for Douglas. Cadiz back to pass, but he's in some trouble. And Cadiz will be brought down by a host of Plantation Colonels, led by number 51, Fred Stirrup.
Well, you've got to credit that play with the defensive backs from Plantation. There just wasn't any place to get rid of the ball, and didn't quite get the protection he needed, so he had pressure at the beginning. If you see when he rolls out to our right side here, he gets penetration on the far side. It's a little bit slow developing. He had to go a little deeper. 55 came across, had to get a little deeper than he wanted to go, and just could never get outside and get set to throw.
So there's some problems with the punt, but they're able to get it off. But it's going to be a short punt, taking a Douglas bounce, but not enough of one, as the ball will finally be down at the 43-yard line. Glenn Dowling had some problems handling the snap and was lucky just to get the ball off. So now Plantation, with a 7-0 lead, will start in Douglas territory.
Going to be a big test this time for the, of course, it's real early in the game. We just had our first water break here at midway through, but a big test for the defense of Douglas right now. They're going to have to stand firm and see if they can shut this offense down.
Let's go!
So out comes Ryan Schneider, the quarterback. This time the ball is given to Sandiford, and Sandiford goes off the left side and picks up about 5 yards.
Well, an interesting play. They're setting Twins are two receivers off to the side over here. Of course, that's loosening up a linebacker in the middle, bringing two people over. I noticed on the touchdown play a few minutes ago, looked like Douglas is rolling coverage to the wide side. Of course, that time with no motion, they didn't have to roll anything, but it is pulling one person out, which is going to help soften up a little bit of the interior on that Douglas defense.
This time the ball is given to Campbell, the man who scored the touchdown on the 60-yard run. This time he only picks up 5, but it looks like it might be enough for a first down.
Campbell did a good job that time. Very quick handoff coming into the lead back, and then a little play-action fake going outside. That freezes that end outside, freezes that outside linebacker. So very quick hitting into the line, a little bit of a surge by that center and left side guard looked like.
Well, everyone came into this game talking about O'Neal Sanderford, the man who ran for 133 yards and 3 touchdowns 1 week ago against Sunrise Piper. But tonight, the man is, if I can remember the poor man's first name, John Campbell, the man who's gone for 71 yards already on 3 carries, already has a touchdown. So it's back by committee, it seems, at Plantation High this year. It wasn't enough for a first down, so now it's 3rd and 1. Campbell gets the ball. He stopped initially, and he will not, I believe, get the first down. It is going to be very close. Very good up-front rush from the defensive line from the Eagles.
Well, super job that time in the middle. Tried to take it right up the middle. There was no room there. Bounced it off just a little bit, but the Douglas defense got stiff and held. Looks like Plantation's going to go ahead and go for it again on 4th. Be an interesting play call here. We'll see if Coach Hepler's got anything in his mind, or if he's going to ground it out and just go pure old power ball right up the middle at him.
So he has a full backfield. O'Neal Sanderford gets the call, and he's going to tiptoe his way for not only a first down, probably pick up 6 more yards as well. 7-yard carry for Sanderford and another first down for Plantation.
Well, he had power backfield in there. Looked like they were going to plow it right up the middle, and they came a little wider than I thought they were going to. Sanderford did a nice job. We'll see on the replay when it comes up if picked up 5 or 6 yards. Had a lead back, got a good block there out of number 8. Then picked up some tough yardage his own, like you say, but a good block by that lead back.
Finley and Beard wideouts to the left. It's going to be a pitch to O'Neal Sanderford. He turns it to the left, has 1 man to beat to turn the corner, and he will be driven out of bounds by number 24, the free safety, Mark Cunningham. And let me tell you, Coach, it's not fun getting thrown out of bounds around this place because the bleachers are probably no more than 5 yards from the playing surface.
Well, I tell you, I always like to play on this field because it gets your crowd, and we always had good crowds at Coconut Creek. It gets your crowd into the game, but you're right. You've only got 5 or 6 feet. You barely have enough room in the box, so it gets kind of dangerous when you're going out of bounds and that tackle's being made right on the sidelines. It's a tough thing.
Sean Noonan and Kevin Beard are the wideouts to the near side. John Campbell is the fullback. O'Neal Sanderford is the tailback. Ryan Schneider under center. And they give the ball to O'Neal Sanderford once again, and he dives forward, picking up, looks like he picked up about 8 yards, and that'll set up a 2nd and 2.
Well, again, they're using these twins out on this far side. They're having to bring a linebacker out. They've got a corner over here. And of course, the safety's having to cheat over because they've got to watch a quick slant coming across or an in route. And right now, it seems like it's somewhat of a decoy. Here you see the I backfield, the second back through, and it's just a little soft in there to the side of the splits.
Well, they only gave him about 6 yards on the carry. They didn't give him the slide. So 2nd and 4. Sanderford gets the ball once again, and he is going to be brought down by a host of Douglas Eagles. He is going to be very close to a first down, however.
Well, Sean, if you look at the lineup, and they're coming out to the, like I say, to the twin side, at least from up here, it looks like Douglas, they've had to split their end out just a little bit, and the linebacker's sitting a little bit off the ball. So it looks like they're attacking that hole right there. It looks like a little bubble, and right now Coach Hepler and the Plantation offense seem like they're trying to attack that, and they're finding a little bit of a soft spot.
Well, once again, they go to the full house backfield. Number 6, Travis Madison. Number 8, John Campbell. And number 9, O'Neal Sandiford. 3rd and 1. Sandiford gets the ball, and he is going to be stopped well short, led by number 6, Greg Hendriquez.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great job by Douglas that time. They came across, actually looked like a hole opened up, but probably because the Douglas defense read that so well and reacted. Came across and made a great job of stuffing it. Might have lost a little grub of ground.
Well, how about this, Coach? Plantation's 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions in this game, but they're 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions.
Well, they can't see whether they brought a kicker in or whether they're going for it, but looks like they brought the field goal kicker in.
You're exactly right, Coach.
You're right, though. They haven't done too well on their 3rd down plays right now, so be surprised on the next series to see if he doesn't come out with a little something different, maybe a little quick hot pass to try to get it over with such an input there from that Douglas defense.
Chad Fairchild will be the holder. Piero Intriago the kicker. It's up, and it is not even close. No good. So Plantation drives deep into Douglas territory. The Eagles hold on a 3rd and 1 situation. Actually drive them back, make it 4th and 2. Coach Epler decides to go for the safe route, go with the field goal, but Intriago could not convert. So out will come Douglas, and the Eagles dodge a big bullet.
Yeah, they sure do. They've got, again, I think it's going to see a lot of, they're going to have patience on this side, but they've got a lot of green to cover here and a lot of the field to work with. Ball's right in the middle of the field, so we'll see the play call in the Douglas offense this time.
1 second remains here in the first quarter of play. Out comes the Douglas offense. The ball was given to Cherkinski, who dives forward for maybe 3 yards, and that'll set up a 2nd and 7, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. So we played one here from PAL Field with the score, the Plantation Colonels leading the Stoneman Douglas Eagles 7-0. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the second quarter of action.
If I'm going to have sex, it's going to be protected. If it's not going to be protected, it's not going to be sex. I will talk about sex in a minute.
I thought, I can't let this conversation drop here.
We have to talk about sex.
There's no reason to be scared.
It's going to come up. But if you don't practice safe sex and I do, then we are not made for each other, honey. It's not that hard. Get those words out.
I'll tell you.
Initiate it. I'm HIV negative, and I intend to stay that way.
Respect yourself. Protect yourself.
Try any of Florida's seafood favorites, but be careful. You might get hooked.
And welcome back to the second quarter of action between Plantation and Stoneman Douglas. That was a 2nd and 8 attempt from Douglas, and that's going to lose about 2 yards. Dowling was the carrier on that, and he lost 2.
Sean, it looks like right now Douglas is just a little bit out of sync here with what they're trying to do. I don't know if there's a little mix-up in the backfield that time, but just seems like right now they're having a little bit of trouble getting everything balanced out there.
3rd and 11 is the situation for Stoneman Douglas. Cadiz back to pass. The pocket collapses around him. He looks deep, no one to be found, and that will set up another 4th down situation for Stoneman Douglas, who have yet to make a 1st down in this game.
Well, I tell you what, when they go off the field this time, those wideouts are going to go over to the coach, and they're going to let him know that, you know, looked like we were open. They got good protection there, and then all of a sudden the pocket collapsed. Quarterback steps up and throws. It looked like the outside receivers might have had a step on the corners and had a break. I think they'll probably discuss that, and we may see a little bit more, but we may see them go into that outside.
So back to receive the kick for Plantation will be number 10, Dakari Finley, number 31, Kevin Beard. Glenn Dowling will once again handle the punting duties. This was a clean snapping catch. Beautiful punt high in the air. Fair catch is called by Kevin Beard. Tackle is made, but Coach, I thought there was a fair catch made.
There was a fair catch call, but it was the other back. The other back signaled for the fair catch, and he didn't get up and make the catch. So the back that didn't signal, he was open game there. He stepped up and took the ball, and it's anybody's game at that point in time.
A 40-yard kick. So Dowling has 2 kicks of 40 and 50 yards in this game, sandwiched in between a 25-yard kick, and that was due to a bad snap where he was just barely able to get the ball off. So out comes the Colonels once again, who have so far dominated this football game. If you're just joining us, aided by a roughing the punter penalty that kept the drive alive for Plantation, John Campbell rumbled 60 yards on his second carry of the game, and that has given the Colonels a 7-0 lead, and that's where it stands right now. O'Neal Sandiford gets the call this time, and he will be brought down after a 4-yard carry.
Well, Sandiford's doing a good job of running the ball. He had a weak outside blitz that time coming over here from the split end side, away from that, looked like away from the tight end. Douglas has done that several times, it looked like tonight, tried to blitz on the weak side, but they haven't been able to get in and catch the exchange yet.
Sean Noonan to the near side. Kevin Beard to the far side. Campbell and Sandiford in the backfield. 2nd and 6. Quick pass out to Beard. Beard catches it. Looks like he has enough for the first down. The ball is on the ground. But I believe a whistle was blown, and now it's going to really depend on a measurement from the referee to find out if he had enough for the first down.
Well, it sure is. He looked like he was getting up pretty close to it. Nice out pattern it looked like, and ball right on the money where nobody could make the interception. Quick throw, throws it to the out, throws it down and into the sideline as you see there. A wide receiver tries to get up the first down. Probably the whistle blew right at this point in time before the fumble ever occurred. Obviously the running back had been stopped before progress was over.
So Campbell and Sandiford in the backfield. 3rd and 1, not enough for the first down. Sandiford jumps through the middle, breaks into the secondary. Sandiford. Picks up about 22 yards on a 3rd and 1 carry, and that puts the Colonels in business once again.
Well, I tell you what, this young man, Sandiford, he is doing an outstanding job. You'll see him attack the middle right here. Got a good surge, as you see there, from the Plantation line. The whole line came off the ball real well, turned the defense to the outside and gave a big hole right up the middle, and the running backs are just doing a great job now picking and choosing.
This time Campbell gets the call, and Campbell keeps his legs churning and picks up about 5 yards. Finally brought down by Craig Summerlot, number 53.
Well, I tell you what, I believe it was number 70 there, Golob. Not sure if I pronounced that right, but when the running back went down, he was still down the field about 10 yards and was still leading those blocks. Running back tucked in behind him, and that's a big load with a big tackle like that going downfield. So these running backs, like I say, are just getting in behind these backs, choosing the hole, and then making something happen.
And this is an offensive line that lost Jerry Carmichael, a blue chip recruit who is now up at Florida State. Sandiford once again gets the call, goes off the right side, and he'll be very close to a first down, maybe just a tad short.
Well, again, they've got confidence, apparently, Plantation, from their scouting reports and the films that they've watched. They seem to have a lot of confidence running inside those tackles, and the backs that we're seeing run tonight are proven. Of course, they're proving themselves that once they hit the second level, they've got a pretty nice little move, and they're getting extra yardage for them.
So another 3rd down situation for the Colonels. They're 1 for 5 on 3rd downs in this game. Campbell and Sandiford in the backfield. Sandiford gets the pitch, trying to turn the corner, and he will be brought down.
Sean, I always wonder about something like that because they're grinding the ball out. They're doing a great job running right up the middle, and you got 3rd and 1, and you'll see from the replay coming here, makes a little quick pitch, tries to go outside. If Sandiford can turn it, but you had good penetration on number 6 from Douglas. I believe the outside linebacker, Henriquez, did a great job of stopping that about 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and ended up losing 4 or 5 yards.
So a 38-yard field goal for Piero Intriago. It's down, the kick is up, and it is no good, wide right. So, for the second time, Intriago misses a field goal, this one of a little longer length. Much better kick, he just wasn't able to keep it between the uprights.
Well, he sure wasn't, and I think the field goal kicking right now is probably going to be frustrating to Coach Hepler on the sidelines. He's been down in scoring territory a couple times, just couldn't pick up the first down, and now has missed a chance to put points on the board twice. So, again, with half the quarter gone, we'll probably see a little change in attitude on these third and fourth down plays from him.
Now, the offense from Stoneman Douglas, is it a wing T offense?
Well, according to Coach Matheson, when I've talked to him, he never would actually tell me what he was running, but I say it's a wing T, and they switch it from side to side, and they do a great job. They're well coached, and it can be awfully confusing, as you see right there with this run. There's so much action going out there, and if your defense doesn't play their keys and stay honest and hold true to form, big plays can develop. There you had, 10, 15 yards it looked like picked up, and that's where it's so hard. He runs this probably as good or better than anybody else that I've seen, and you can't prepare for it because if you don't run it, you just don't know how to set the play action in there with it.
Well, the play was actually for 8 yards, Coach, but, hey, 2nd and 2. This time the ball is given to number 31, Rob Randall. Randall's able to turn the corner, pick up the first down, the very first first down for the Stoneman Douglas Eagles, and it comes with 6:34 remaining here in the second quarter.
Well, I think this is the wing. Yeah, here comes the wing. You can see him coming right here. You got a pull by the left tackle or left guard. I couldn't see it there. And Randall makes a good job of hitting the hole and turning it upfield. Now, we've seen this last two plays, and again, this is where when you stop and go back and look at the record of Stoneman Douglas under Coach Matheson, patience. He doesn't get excited. They made a mistake. They're overcoming it, and they're just coming in and playing good, solid football now.
Well, we have a scrum in the middle of the field for about 3 yards. I'll tell you who was the one responsible for it in a second. Looks like it was number 45, Glenn Dowling, who picked up 3 yards on the play. Looks like they're actually going to award him 4 yards. So 2nd and 6 for Stoneman Douglas.
Well, you're seeing what Douglas runs the best right now. When they start running this play and they start putting this wing in, anybody prepares for them. They've got to keep an eye on that fullback. They've got to key that fullback, and they've probably got their 2 inside linebackers or strong side linebackers are always trying to look at Cherkinsky and get in and make sure they stop him because, again, he can hurt you all night long with a big night, and tackling someone like that all night long becomes such a load that it wears you down in the middle too. So when they get that wing coming in with that play action and the quarterback's doing a nice job, this can be an offense rather that really can confuse you. The defense has to stay. They have to play their keys, and they have to be as patient as Douglas. Douglas right now in this series, first 2 series they had the ball. They looked like they were a little out of line with each other. Didn't look like they were meshing very well. Last 3 or 4 plays, we've seen Douglas step up. They look like Douglas always does. They were just about picture perfect, came across, and then you had 3 nice big runs, and I think that's second first down or it's real close to it. So Coach Matheson's had patience, and his team believes in what they're doing, and it's a tough offense to stop once it gets rolling.
Well, to my calculations, Plantation in total yards is beating Douglas 142 to 31. So if yards count for points, this game's a blowout. So Cadiz back to pass, and he flings it across the middle, and he finds his receiver, number 84, John Brown, and that's the second first down of the game for Douglas.
Well, you mentioned that on the yardage there, and I'm sure Coach Hepler, if he looks at his first half of play, he's not going to be very happy to have that kind of yardage and only 7 points up on the board. Here you see the replay. Nice pass, ran a little quick slant. One of the hardest passes I think in football to defend. Got in behind the outside linebacker, and corner had to pick him up.
It looks like Dowling was the ball carrier. Yes, it was, and he picks up 5 yards. So all of a sudden, the misdirection is starting to work in the favor of the Douglas Eagles.
Well, I think probably on the sideline, one thing they've been talking about is, I'm sure the coaches are saying is, look, we're not doing that bad. Plantation's come down here, gotten in scoring territory 2 times in a row. We've stuck, we've held, we've kept them off the board. That's given the offense a lot of momentum. They've come out and said, hey, the defense is doing the job. We got to go, we got to play and do something for us.
So this time the ball is given to number 31, Rob Randall. And Randall picks up maybe one, and that'll set up a 3rd and 5.
Well, you had a little penetration on that left side. You had to pull. The guard couldn't quite look like a little penetration. Guard had to go a little deeper than he wanted to on the pull. So don't know if he was able to get into his block. We'll see it here if we've got the replay coming here. You see 52 on the pull. Looked like the running back had to delay just a little bit and stay a little deeper than normal. The outside man, number 40, did a good job of turning him inside. But, again, the play just didn't get developed in time to get too much positive yardage.
3rd and 5 for Douglas. Back to pass once again, looking and not finding and connecting with number 2, William LeMonnier, and that'll set up 4th down.
Well, there you're seeing a pass play that he likes a lot. And coming off, you've got an inside man that's coming out into the flat on that. So the Plantation will have to be careful. Here you see the replay. If we get the receivers here right at the end, you'll see you still got the running back look like coming out in the flat, tried to go to the deep man on the slant. They're going to get back in there and see that running back, and you may see them dumping that to the outside and let the running back try to work for them.
There you see the punter for Stoneman Douglas, Glenn Dowling. He has 3 punts tonight of 50, 25, and 40 yards, but it's going to be a quick fake to number 4, Justin Yoel, but Yoel will be stopped a good 2 yards short of the 1st down. Surprising move, Coach?
Well, you know, it is a little surprising. But then again, I know the coaches of both these teams, and anything goes. They're out here to win the game, and it looks like they've got about 4 minutes to go. Wasn't going to probably hurt them too much if they went for the fake and didn't make it. A little surprised that the thing it looked like to me is it looked like when Dowling got back in the back, he's had 3 great punts, but it looked like when he got back in the back that time, just didn't look like he ever really got set like he did the last 3 times to accept the snap and the punt. That might have been something that the defense picked up on real quick and looked at and said, hey, play it safe and let's go in.
So Schneider under center. He gives the ball this time. He gives the ball to number 7, Harold Walden, and he is met by a wall of Stoneman Douglas defenders. Summerlot with the tackle.
Summerlot did a great job that time of stepping up, making the stick. Running back bounced back a little bit off that, and that was a nice big-time tackle there.
2nd and 10, Schneider back to pass. And this time the ball is knocked down by number 89, Jeremy Tucker. Nice play there, getting his hands up. That's the way you teach him, Coach.
Well, that sure is. He did a nice job. Saw the play, and receiver was open again. And when you look at these two defenses play, these out patterns are going to be real tough for either one of the defenses to cover, especially when they're going into the weak side of the field. So nice job of getting his hands up and knocking the ball away. Just like you say, that's just how you teach it.
Ron Michael is to the near side. Dakari Finley to the far side. Kevin Beard in the slot. Schneider back to pass. This time he looks and he will find Kevin Beard across the middle. That'll be enough for a 1st down. 16-yard completion from Schneider to Kevin Beard.
Well, I tell you what, Schneider was real patient that time. He sat in the pocket and did a nice job. He had good protection, but he was real patient. He could see that developing coming across from the far side. So if we can see that receiver when he comes across. Quarterback Schneider here does a good job. You got an out pattern on both sides, but he's real patient, steps up in the pocket a little bit right here, throws it across the middle. He was patient enough to give that receiver time to get into the middle area and find that open spot in the middle zone there. Nice play and a lot of poise by the quarterback that time with letting that play develop.
Well, the Plantation Colonels have had 7 third-down conversion opportunities, and with that 16-yard completion, that'll give them their 2nd conversion on a 3rd down. Of course, they are 1 for 1 on 4th down conversion. So they've been able to move the ball quite successfully, but they just haven't been able to convert in those 3rd and 4th down situations.
Well, they've moved the ball well. They get down in the red zone, though, and I don't know whether the defense is getting just real tough down there or whether the offense maybe moves the ball so well out in the middle of the open area there that maybe they slow down a little down there. It's just one of those things that's hard to say, but with the yardage they've picked up and holding Douglas the way they have, I think the Plantation staff's going to be a little bit disappointed at halftime that they've only got 7 points up on the board.
1st and 10 for the Colonels. The ball is placed on the 41-yard line. This time Travis Madison is the only man in the backfield. Kevin Beard, Dakari Finley are to the far side, but this time the ball is given to Travis Madison. And Madison is going to be able to pick up 11 yards, and it looks like he'll have enough for the first down.
Madison did a nice job that time. Got a couple of good blocks over here on the running into the boundary to the tight end side. They had trip receivers to the outside, and again, every time Plantation sets those receivers out that way, it's going to soften up a little bit that defense. Here you can see him coming through the line and real close up there. Give you a little bit of appreciation for the hitting that's going on and the movements of these backs.
This time the ball is given to number 7, Harold Walden. When we come back to live action, there you see it. And Walden's going to be able to pick up about 5 yards, set up a 2nd and 5.
A good blocking over on that right side. And Plantation's had pretty good success. They're seeing something that we obviously probably aren't picking up, can't see here, but they're having pretty good success right now running over on that right side. I don't know what the reason is being, but they've attacked that right side quite a bit, and it's softened up a little bit. So they're moving the ball real well right now.
That's the side with guard Frank Bavetz at guard and number 70, Ryan Golub at tackle. This time it's going to be an end around to Kevin Beard, and Beard tries to turn the corner. Flags are on the play. He's finally brought down by the free safety, number 24, Mark Cunningham, but probably this is going to be in the area of holding.
I think you're going to have holding, or you might end up with a push in the back here. It looked like on that guard that pulled out, or whoever pulled out.
Holding on the offense.
Well, there you heard Rich Calora call it. He called holding. Looked like 2 good blocks. You see him coming back out on the outside there, and looked like on the pull, the block that actually sprang him loose.
On the offense, repeat 2nd down.
So you heard Mr. Calora make the call to be a 2nd down. Again, that's a big penalty at that point in time because they're moving the ball well, and they did break to the outside, but maybe the hold was what got them to the outside.
So we're going to have a timeout on the field. 2nd and 17 is the situation for Plantation. Of course, as we mentioned 1 week ago, that holding penalties are marked from the spot of the hold, not from the original line of scrimmage. So that would explain how you go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 17 on a hold.
Well, it does, and that's probably a good rule. I've always I like the fact that it's from the point of the infraction, because it makes it something that sometimes you get a hold downfield and it doesn't hurt you quite as much. Of course, obviously, when it's in your own backfield, this type thing, it becomes a bigger play. But I think that's probably the fairest way to assess it. You see Coach Hepler, I think Coach Snyder, not Coach Hepler, I think the offensive coordinator, been in Plantation a long time. He's called a lot of good games and does an outstanding coaching job for Coach Hepler. So Coach Snyder's been in the county a long time. Another one of those coaches that's been around, does a fabulous job.
There you see the Douglas Eagles, and that's Coach Jim Matheson, the man who directs the defense as long as the head coaching duties for the Douglas Eagles. And we were talking before the game, Coach, that about some of the top coaches in Broward County, and the first name that came off your tongue was Jim Matheson, a man who is a head coach at Douglas and also coached with Mike Bonfiglio at Taravella.
Yes, you're right. I think Coach Matheson's one of the outstanding coaches in the county and does an excellent job all the way around, and I have a lot of respect for him and a lot of admiration for what he's done at Douglas High School.
Schneider back to pass, and it's going to be a quick screen. It's going to be a screen to John Campbell, and Campbell turns it upfield. Unbelievable situation, and a face mask is going to be called after he is held back, and he looks like he was just shot out of a cannon. The blocker set up, and he just ran by everybody.
Boy, it really did. We got real close on setting that screen. If we see this screen set, we almost had a clip out here on the far side. You'll see it right here. Douglas comes in, makes almost had a clip call there, almost made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Got a good tackle by, it looked like 71 or 73 down the field, and then number 8 gets on down. You get a face mask right at the end of the run there. You can see it, pretty obvious. It's going to tack on big yardage, and Plantation's going to be sitting right on the door again.
Goal. And we have a Plantation timeout.
So there's another timeout on the field. 5 yards will be tacked on to the end of the play. And that'll make it 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for the Colonels. 2 minutes remain in the first half of play from PAL Field. This is the Continental Cablevision Channel 19 Game of the Week. Let's take a look at this penalty one more time.
Well, here you can see he breaks loose right here. Looks like he's going to score. We're reaching high for him. And got the face mask right there. You see the helmet turn around, feet keep going, come right out. One of the most dangerous penalties we can have. We always hate to see that. It's one that's usually an inadvertent action by the player. I don't think any of these are ever flagrant, but is one of the penalties that you like to see called when it occurs, because that's a real dangerous situation. That's snapping of that neck and the player's still running. I think that and clipping, hitting in the back, are probably the two penalties that we probably have more injuries on than anything else. So it was a real good call. It's unfortunate that we had the penalty, but again, that's going to back half the distance to goal. That backs Douglas down into the hole now.
First and goal for the Plantation Colonels. In the backfield for the Colonels will be number 6, Travis Madison. But the ball is given to number 7, Harold Walden, and Walden will be very close to a first down. A touchdown. And he will be short by about 1 yard, so make it second and goal from the 1.
Well, again, we see the attack on the right side of the line there, attacking Douglas's left and left front on that secondary. So our defense, nice job, and Walden, I believe, was the ball carrier and picked up a good extra yardage there and diving forward.
Walden and Madison once again in the backfield. Schneider this time gives the ball to Madison, and Madison pounds his way forward. And we're still waiting, and it looks like he's going to be short yet again. It'll be third down. Third and goal.
Well, Sean, judging by what we saw a few minutes ago, I don't think we'll see a trick play here or anything outside. I think he's going to go ahead and take his power and attack and try to just push it down and prove to him that he's going to win the battle up front right now. Big test for that Douglas defense. They've not done a bad job tonight. They've kept Plantation off the field as far as scoring by holding them rather than only 7 points. So big test for both teams right now. It looks like we're going to have a timeout call on Plantation. I think that's their last one.
Well, into the game comes starting linebacker number 45, Albert Salas. So this could be an interesting situation. He came in once before on a 3rd and 1 situation. Obviously, Coach Hepler wants to put as many big athletic bodies onto the field for this goal line situation. The interesting situation is down here on the goal line, they've been using Madison and Walden, but for the most part of the game, they've been using Sandiford and Campbell. Campbell has 79 yards in this game. Sandiford, a big kid, he has 11 carries for 58 yards, yet Madison and Walden are the guys Coach Hepler's using down here on the goal line.
Well, I'm a little surprised to see 45 come in the game at this point in time, because you're right. He's had good yardage all the way. May feel like they've got a little bit more power. I remember down here on the opposite end zone, though, they tried to come back to the left side when they've had so much success on the right side. So it'll be interesting, and I believe 45 was the one that carried the ball. Now, I might be mistaken, but when that occurred, they were short, and they got penetration by the Douglas defense. So it'll be interesting this time to see if he does attack the right side and if he uses 45 for the block and lets his running backs who've done all the work down the middle of the field try to take it on in for him.
49 seconds remains here in the first half of play. In the backfield will be number 6, Travis Madison, and number 7, Walden in the I formation. Schneider gives it to Madison over the top into the end zone. Touchdown, Colonels.
Well, that was an excellent call. Looked like he did come off on that right side. Had a little wing, I think, set on this side, and 45 was in there to get some little bit of blocking for him. So Madison, I'll tell you what, he might want to go into acrobatics also. Got up in the air pretty high that time, went over the front line, did a nice job making sure he was going to get the score and put the points on the board.
Pyro Intriago out to handle the extra point duty. He's 1 for 1 on extra points. The snap is down, it's up, and it is good. So with 46 seconds remaining here in the first half of play from PAL Field, the Colonels take a 14-0 lead over the Douglas Eagles. Let's take a look at the touchdown again, Coach.
Well, if you're watching get up in the air here, pretty good surge off the line, but running back, I tell you what, Madison just, he hits the line. As soon as he hits it, he gets airborne and goes over, and he had plenty of room. I think he came in about 3 or 4 yards deep in the end zone that time, and looked like the Douglas defense tried to submarine and get under hard and stop the power play coming in. But nice job by Plantation, and nice drive. Nice play calling, ran the ball, got a couple big plays, ground out a couple yards, a couple times for short yardage, had patience. They're making things work. They've got tremendous offense going right now.
Did you find it unusual, Coach, that they went away from the two backs that pretty much have been handling the ball for the majority of the first half, and they went with Madison and Walden when they got inside the 20?
Well, they've done that a couple times, and obviously, Coach, the coach for Plantation, Coach Hepler, has something from practice or something that leads him to do that. And boy, you sure can't fault him. I look down at the goal pole right now, or the scoreboard, excuse me. 14 points up. He's racking up a tremendous first half in offensive yardage. So whatever he's doing, it's working real well. Yeah, it does surprise me a little bit, but maybe when he get down there, maybe he needs just a little stronger back to make the push.
Well, we did talk about their inability to convert on third down. Their first 4, they were 0 for 4, but in their last 4, they went 3 for 4. So maybe he went with different backs because he felt he wasn't converting enough on third down. So Intriago out to handle the kicking duties. Back for Douglas will be Mark Cunningham and Rob Randall. But it's going to be a pooch kick, and this is going to be some trouble for Douglas. And that ball's going to be on the ground, and I believe Plantation might have recovered.
Well, I tell you what, that's a big play. I think probably.
And yes, Coach, out comes the Plantation offense once. No, yes, the Plantation offense is coming out onto the field.
Well, yeah, nice pooch kick, got the ball up, put it over the front line. You got a dead spot normally on the behind the front 5. If you look at the way Douglas lines up, you've got 2 zones on each side that are right behind. Nice pooch kick, got it up, 2 fast men on the outside. One goes for the block, the other one goes to cover the ball. You know, again, you can't plan it that way any better. Not real sure if it was planned that way to get the ball or if they just wanted to make sure Douglas didn't get a run back. But a big mistake, not a lot of time left, but a big mistake by Douglas not getting on the ball.
46 seconds remain. Roy Artiega is to the near side amongst a host of receivers, but he's looking for Beard across the middle, and Beard is going to be tripped. Out comes the flag. Looks like an incidental contact, but nonetheless, Beard went to the ground, and interference will probably be the call right here.
Well, I'm sure we're going to see interference call right here from Mr. Kalora.
Yes, interference. Automatic first down.
So tack on 15 yards from the spot, the 35, so the ball will now be on the 20.
Well, you can see right here, you're going to get the interference call right there. The receiver broke right in the middle in between 2. So, you know, you can look at it as an unfortunate break, but I'm sure Coach Matheson's sitting over there saying, hey, I'd rather have the interference call and a 15-yard penalty than 6 more points on the board against me. So this was a penalty against Douglas that really might have saved them a touchdown.
Sean Noonan to the near side with Finley and Beard. The pass will be knocked down. It looked like the intended pass was going to go to number 10, Dakari Finley, and that'll set up a 2nd and 10.
Well, I wasn't real sure who got in on that side that time. It looked like 99. I think it's Furness came across and got the pressure and maybe hit the arm as it was throwing. We'll see it here on the replay coming up, who made the pressure. Again, Snyder steps up into the pocket, doing a good job. Keys on his receiver. There you see the pressure coming in, and a nice job by the Douglas defense.
Schneider back to pass. The pocket collapses, and he is going to be brought down. Being brought down by number 89, Jeremy Tucker.
Well, good job on the defense that time. They've got trip receivers over here, and what he looks like he's trying to do is he's trying to get the ball down across into the corner down here and let the receiver try to get him close enough, at least for the field goal attempt.
The clock is running 10 seconds. Schneider back to pass. The quick out to number 84, Roy Artiega, and Artiega tries to get out of bounds, and he will with 5 seconds remaining. Probably picked up about 6 yards on the play.
Well, nice call that time. Snyder looked down to the receiver side on the wide side of the field. And we'll see him here. He looks back off, turns around here. He's already turned back around. He looks. He's got a lone receiver over there. Does a good job. Gets out of bounds, stops the clock, gives him an opportunity to go ahead for a field goal.
So this will be a 32-yard attempt for Intriago. He's already missed from 25 and 38. And he will now miss from 32 yards as the kick was just a little bit too low. And that will be the final play of the first half. Coach, some thoughts after the first half of play?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised at a couple things. I think you go back to the first couple of series there, and we saw a big play. We saw a roughing the punter. That turned the ball over. You got 6 points out of that. We've moved the ball well by Plantation. They seem to be dominating right now. Their offensive fronts are dominating. Douglas turned around, tried to get back in the game. Couldn't quite do it. Couldn't get anything on the board again. You had a couple other penalties in there. So Plantation at this point in time pretty much is ruling the field.
So we'll go to the halftime with the Colonels leading the Eagles 14-0. Tonight's Continental Cablevision Channel 19 Game of the Week, featuring the Plantation Colonels and the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Eagles. And there you see the score, 14-0. I'm Sean Alvashar, joined alongside by Al Milton, the man who, since he's joined us, we've never had a good game since. How you doing, Coach?
Not doing too bad. You're right. Now, wait a minute. Last week we had a pretty good game, but we did have some blowouts after I joined you last year. So
we had a shutout last week. I guess you'll be known for the shutout king
I
this
tell
year
you.
so far.
I think so. Hopefully our luck is going to change a little bit. You're right, though.
Well, speaking of luck changing, I'm sure Coach Matheson went into the halftime and talked to his Douglas Eagles about changing their luck. Total yards for the first half, Plantation finished with 210, Douglas 44. And that's surprising, especially with a big back like Josh Cherkinski and running the wing T. Usually they're able to gobble up yards, even if their team isn't up to par with the other team. Usually they're able to control the ball, not make mistakes, and get yards, something they have not been able to do. So this second half has been kicked off, and receiving the kick will be number 11, Willie Webb. And Webb will bring it out to the 27-yard line, and that's where Plantation will begin the second half of play.
Well, yeah, they didn't get to Cherkinski very much in that first half, which did surprise me a little bit too. He had a couple nice runs early on in the game, but they just weren't able to spring him and use him for the workhorse. Of course, it'll be interesting to see the offensive calls that we get here over the next series for Plantation and then Douglas to see what adjustments and changes they've made.
We'll talk a little bit about some of the statistics from the first half in just a minute. Ryan Schneider is the quarterback for Plantation, and immediately he hands the ball off to number 8, John Campbell, and Campbell looks like he'll be stopped for maybe a loss of a yard, and that'll set up 2nd and 11.
Well, again, they did a little something different. They came up, well, not different, but they came up and attacked the left side. Again, they've had their success running on the right side, so a little surprised to see them not come back and test the waters again and to where they've had all their success. You had a pull that time. They've been pulling these guards. They've got big guards, and you had a big pull that time by number 63. I think Frank Bavette did a good job, slid off the block, but he's been getting out there and helping open some of the holes tonight.
Well, that's Campbell and Sandiford in the backfield, and Sandiford gets the call this time, and it looks like he'll pick up 3 yards, let's say. 3rd and 7 for the Plantation Colonels. And with those 3 yards, that gives O'Neal Sandiford 61 yards on the game with 12 carries. The big guy tonight has been John Campbell for Plantation. He has 7 carries on the night for 79 yards. 60 of those came on his touchdown run in the first quarter. Let's take a look at this play again, Coach.
Well, here you see the handoff. They're attacking the right side. Offensive line's getting a good push off. Nice little hole, 6 yards on a 2nd down play.
Finley and Beard to the near side. I formation for the Colonels. Schneider back to pass. He's throwing one up. He's looking for Finley, and Finley picks it off. And he will get all the way down to the 40-yard line before being knocked out of bounds by number 24, Mark Cunningham.
Well, this is something we talked about a little bit earlier. They've had this twin set out here. They haven't gone to it very much. They've been attacking the right side on the ground. They've run a little short pattern underneath. They've come across, we saw that set up the score a minute ago across the middle where Snyder was patient. This time, laid the ball out perfectly. Good coverage by Douglas. Just athlete went up and got the ball and was able to come down to it. Perfect pass by Snyder that time.
1st and 10 for the Colonels. Sandiford with the carry, slipping through some tackles. Looks like he'll pick up 6 yards. 2nd and 4 for the Colonels.
Well, you're getting a nice push off the right side of that Plantation line, it looks like. It'd be interesting to see their films tomorrow and see if we're accurate in what we're saying. But looks like you're getting a nice push off the side. Something there on that pass to the outside coming over here, though, was something probably, obviously, the way they've run the ball. You just didn't expect them to come out and open up with a pass that quick.
Well, they only gave him 4 yards, 2nd and 6 for the Colonels. On the 39-yard line of Douglas, Sandiford gets the call. He goes in between the guard and tackle, looking like he picks up 3 yards. And that'll set up a 3rd and 3. Let's give you the starting offense for Plantation up front. Mark Shapiro, Anthony Caggiano, Matt Luggery, Frank Pavetz, and Ryan Golub. The wide receivers will be Dakari Finley and Kevin Beard. The quarterback, Ryan Schneider. The tight end will be Dosey McBride. And in the backfield, well, they alternate, but Travis Madison and O'Neal Sandiford and John Campbell, those are the 3 they've been rotating in this game. Already in this game, Madison and Campbell have touchdowns. 3rd and 4 for the Colonels. They are 3 for 8 in 3rd down conversions in this game. Sandiford gets the call. He goes off right tackle, and there is nobody to catch him. Down the sideline he goes. Touchdown, Colonels.
Well, I tell you what, it looked like the play was going to come right up in the B gap between the guard and the tackle there. I don't know if we have this on replay, but I tell you what, made a nice job, came in. All of a sudden, running back, you'll see right here, it looked like he was going into the inside. You see him break on the outside. You had good blocks there. Crushed everything in. A collapse on the Douglas unit, came inside and tried to stop the dive. And running back breaks it to the outside. Nobody there. The corner had already come in to help out in the middle.
So, Piero Intriago out to handle the extra point duties. He's 2 for 2 in extra points in this game already. The snap is down. It's up, and this time it is blocked. It's blocked by number 6, I believe, Greg Hendriquez. We've called his name a couple times, once for a face mask. And with 9 minutes left to go, a 3-minute drive exactly for the Colonels. What a way to open up the second half. Let's take a look at this once again, Coach.
Well, you got a nice job coming in on the far right outside. Goes up high in the air. He's coming in on a good angle. If you see him coming across, just the way the coaches teach him to do. Set yourself and lay out with all you've got to where the angle of the ball is going to be coming up. Did a nice job. Enrique came across and made a nice block, saved the point. A little surprised at the play calling that time. Came to the left side. They haven't been getting any yardage by Plantation over there. They got stuff. Went to the right side, picked up a little yardage, and came right back and threw the pass down the sideline, caught everybody unaware. On a big 3rd down play, looks like they're going up the middle. Everybody collapses in. Corner comes in on corner support, and running back bounces it to the outside, nobody there. So a real nice series there for the Plantation offense.
So Intriago is out to handle the kickoff duties for the Colonels. Back to receive the kick for the Stoneman Douglas Eagles be number 31, Rob Randall, and number 24, Mark Cunningham. And Intriago booms one down to the 10-yard line, handled by Rob Randall. Randall tries to turn the corner. Unable to find it, brought down by a host of Colonels, led by number 32, Andrew Burke.
Well, pretty good coverage that time. I think most of the time if you're running back and if you can feel that and get out to the 20 or past the 20, we used to always say we wanted to try to get a first down, which meant we could ever get the ball on a kickoff and get back to the 30. We'd done a great job. But this time the running back was able to get the ball out. I think it's right about the 22 or 23-yard line. So fielded it to the 5 and at least got it out past the 20.
Dowling and Randall in the backfield. Randall gets the call. And Randall will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. I believe he did. 2nd and 10.
Well, he got a big surge that time on the middle linebacker. Perkins came through. He wasn't necessarily in on the tackle, but he caused a lot of trouble in the middle when he came across. And then there was a 54, Wilson looked like was over on the right side and was in on the tackle. So the linebackers are coming up right now for Plantation and give good support.
Alan Cadiz back to pass, looking for his tight end, number 86, Gerald Burley, and Burley makes the completion. 1st down, Douglas.
Well, a big play there. Tight end did a nice job, held onto that ball, took a real lick when he brought it down, but those tight ends, they know what's going to happen once they catch the ball. Quarterback was patient that time, let the end get open, got to that outside, and a nice play, got them out of the hole. They're now up with the 1st down, a big play for them. They're up around the 35-yard line.
1st and 10, only Douglas's 3rd 1st down of this ball game. Cadiz this time hands the ball off to Cherkinski, and Cherkinski picks up about 5. Or excuse me, that is number 45, Glenn Dowling, on the carry.
Well, Dowling's done a good job. I'm a little, Cherkinski's, I think they're going to have to get the ball in there and get a little more, try to get him to work a little bit more. A lot of time in the game, start of the 2nd half. They've been very fortunate. They've kept Plantation down to 20 points. The offense needs to get it all the way down and get 6 out of this drive.
2nd and 5 for the Eagles. Three yards picked up by the Douglas Eagles. It looks like the ball carrier that time was again Glenn Dowling.
Well, they're giving it to that second back, trying to let the big man get through and open a hole for him. They've had a lot of success with this, and at any moment, if he can break it to the outside, there's no one there once he comes across.
Well, 3rd and 3 for the Douglas Eagles. This will be their 5th 3rd down conversion attempt of the game. They are 0 for 4 so far. Rob Randall and Cherkinski in the backfield. Randall gets the call. He pushes his way through. He had to get past the 45-yard line. Now they're saying there might be a fumble on the play. And it is. So Plantation, after a scrum in the middle of the field, the ball must have popped loose. Plantation recovers. And now the Colonels are in business in Douglas territory. The ball is marked on the Eagles' 44-yard line.
Well, right now the momentum is, they've come out from the half, and I think the momentum is definitely right here is in Plantation side of the field. The only thing I think I'd be worried about right now if I was Plantation is the fact that my offense is on the field so much that they might get tired. So the defense did a good job that time, came right back after the big 1st down with a tight end and stopped the drive.
So Campbell and Walden in the backfield. Walden gets the carry this time, slips through for about 9. That'll set up a 2nd and 1.
Sean, I'm real impressed with these running backs tonight so far for Plantation. They're doing a good job. They're not outrunning their blocks. They're looking at their hole, picking their hole, and they're really running with full speed, but they're running very cautiously through there and planning their alleys and making their picks. And they've done a nice job tonight in picking up yardage. Getting a good surge off the front line by the whole interior offensive line.
Well, apparently Walden's knee was down. Negate 2 of those yards. 2nd and 3 for the Colonels. This time the ball is handled to Travis Madison. Madison picks up a yard. I believe he'll be just short. And that'll set up a 3rd and 1. And we've come to 5 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in the 3rd period. And that is the FHSAA mandated water break with the score 20-0, Plantation in the lead with the situation, Plantation with the ball and a 3rd and 1.
Well, I tell you what, the interior for the Plantation offense, center there, Luggery, I've watched him on this last 4 or 5 offensive plays he's been in. He's still making blocks 5, 6, 8, 9 yards down the field. The 2 guards there, I think, is Gagano and Babette. Same thing. They've been pulling a lot tonight, and they're down the line. So when you see these running backs hitting the holes, picking up 4, 5, and 6 yards, if you look what's around them, that interior front of this Plantation offensive line, they're still on those blocks at 5, 6, and 7 yards down the field. So they're helping these offensive backs quite a bit by giving them that opportunity and staying with them. And the backs aren't, they're being patient. They're not outrunning the blocks. They're staying with them, running with them, staying right behind them. Once they get to the end of the line, they're making that cut, trying to bounce to the outside, and they've picked up a lot of extra yardage tonight.
Now, Coach, you talk a little bit about the running backs, and one running back that Plantation sure wishes they had playing for him tonight is Kevin McKenzie. McKenzie a year ago was Broward County Player of the Year, as he was one of the leaders on a 12-1 Plantation squad that lost in the quarterfinals to the eventual state champions in Class 6A, Miami Northwestern. But due to an age discrepancy, he's too old to play as he enters his senior year, his enrollment year. He is unable to play, but apparently, talking to Coach Hepler, he's been a very positive force. He's been out at practice, really pushing some of the younger backs, and it might have some effect because, as you see, they're rotating 4 running backs, and they've all done very well this evening.
Well, they really are. They've lost McKenzie, and that's a great running back, and we're going to see him in college down the line here. But that's probably right. These young backs are really rising to the occasion. They're going to step in and help the team out, and we're seeing that right now in these first 2 games.
Madison, the up back, Walden, the tailback, and Walden gets the carry. Walden trying to turn it outside. He'll pick up about 4 yards, and that'll be enough for the first down.
Walden seems like when he gets in behind those blocks, as soon as he gets a little daylight out into that flat, looks like he's going to try to rely on that speed and see if he can't break outside and get around that corner. We've seen him do it a couple times tonight. That was a good indication that time. It was a nice tackle on the outside by Douglas, again, to shut him down. But Walden seems like he likes to get to the outside and try to use the speed to turn down the side of the field.
So they keep the same backs in. Madison, the fullback, Walden, the tailback. 1st and 10. Walden once again gets the carry, going off that right side, Coach. And this time they only pick up about a yard.
Well, again, I don't know what the reports said or what the reason being, whether he's got the right side of the offensive line and maybe his backs like to run to the side. Sometimes you've got little things on your team that you attack more than others. Sometimes you're a right-handed or a left-handed coach. These type of things happen. But he has had success going on the right side. Might also be that the Douglas defense on the left side that he'd have to be going against on his left side, maybe he doesn't want to attack there for some reason. But a play that he's got coming up now was 2nd and long. I'm going to be real surprised if we don't see Coach Hepler maybe go for the long pass right here and see if he can put one in the end zone in the air.
Well, Dakari Finley, number 10, is to the outside. Kevin Beard in the slot. Schneider back to pass. Whips it out, and the ball is nearly intercepted. Nearly intercepted by number 84 from Stoneman Douglas, John Brown. And let me tell you something, Coach, it would have been 20-6 in a hurry if he could have hung on to that football.
Well, it really would, but it looked like the safety came off of the back, and I think it was number 3 or 31. I can't see the number. Deep going down into the left corner of the end zone, and it was number 31. Schneider made his choice, through to the flat, but you're right. We get an interception there. Douglas is right back in the game with a big play, 70-yard return on an interception, and they've got a chance for 6 points. So nice call by the coach, though, trying to go to the air and make something happen.
Schneider back to pass, and this time he's looking deep for Finley, and Finley cannot hang on to the football.
Well, I tell you what, Sean, I think that's probably the hardest ball in the world to catch. Finley got deep. He was behind everybody. Douglas might have gotten a little hand on the ball. I'm sure when they came back in the huddle that time, the receivers looked at Snyder and said, look, we can get behind them, and we've seen that tonight. They have gotten behind them. But on the same hand, when you're wide open and you're waiting for that ball to come down, that's a tough catch. You're sitting there, and you've just got too much time.
Well, Intriago is out to try a 45-yard field goal. He's missed tonight from 25, 38, and 32. This time the kick is up. It's not going to be long enough and well left. So from 45 yards, Intriago cannot put it through. And, Coach, that's asking a lot from a high school kicker, 45 yards.
Well, it is, but, you know, I certainly don't want to get down on any high school player. They're not paid the money like they are in the pros and everything. But, you know, these kids go out, and this is a good game that Coach Hepler's been able to give this young man some chances to kick, give him an opportunity to get maybe some kicks under his belt and against competition. So if he stays with him and believes in him and gives the young man a chance to keep working on it, chances are later in the year this will all pay off for him with all these attempts.
So Douglas will begin 1st and 10 from their own 20. The quick out pass, number 26, Dom Sansoni. and he will be brought down by number 11, Willie Webb, after a pickup of maybe 3 yards.
Well, that was a corner, came up and made the stop on that. Pretty good coverage. Nice little out pattern. Douglas trying to hit into the flats. If they hit into the flats a couple times, one of their favorite plays over the years has been that tight end right across the middle. A few minutes ago, we saw a big catch for the tight end going down and turning to the outside. So they've got to keep an eye on that tight end coming across the middle underneath the free safety also.
Cadiz once again back to pass. He flips it out to Dowling, but a beautiful tackle is made by number 45, Albert Salas. Great open field tackle.
Well, I tell you what, Salas read that all the time. It was a little moving screen. They had the receiver coming across the middle. Looked like they were going to try to throw underneath, trying to pull that, probably trying to pull that corner into the middle and let that screen develop on the outside. Salas came across, said, no, you no way you're going to do that. You're not going to fool me, and read it all the way, and came in and made a night, like I say, made a great open field tackle there.
So no gain on the play after the tackle by Salas out in the flats, and that'll make it a 3rd and 8 situation. Douglas is 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions in this game so far. Cadiz rolling to his left, back to pass. And he's going to be throwing long and nearly intercepted. The intended receiver on that one was number 26, Dom Sansoni.
Well, we talked about this a little bit last week, too, when we saw the ball go in the air sometimes. Right-handed quarterback rolling off to the left side. Had a little pressure on him and never got a chance to square himself to the line of scrimmage and turn. That's a tough pass for a high school quarterback, I think, to have to throw. These guys need to be able to have a little bit of time and set their shoulders and square up and let the ball go. Still got it down the field quite a ways, but maybe not with the accuracy he wanted.
So back to handle the punting duties for Douglas will be Glenn Dowling. He has 3 punts this evening of 50, 25, and 40 yards. Bad snap, but he's able to pick it up and get off another beautiful kick. The ball's going to bounce once, sideways, and eventually be down by number 31 from the Stoneman Douglas Eagles, Rob Randall. So the Plantation Colonels will start their offensive possession with 2:31 remaining here in the 3rd quarter from the 42-yard line.
Well, it was an interesting 2 men back that time. These 2 punters we've seen, of course, we haven't seen Plantation's punter very much tonight. The 2 punters tonight have done a good job. They get the ball up high, give them hang time, and good coverage by the Douglas punt team coming down. Got a nice bounce. Plantation got a nice bounce because it went sideways. That ball gone like the first punt tonight. Could have been 25 more yards if they'd been further back.
So there are some confusion on the Plantation side as Dosey McBride comes to the near side. Finley and Beard go to the far side, and the ball's given to Walden after all of that. And he's brought down by number 44 from Douglas, Robert Farragher. So
well,
2nd and 9. Sorry, Coach.
That's all right. Excuse me. Again, he splits those receivers and puts them out wide. It does soften up the defense a little bit. That time the Douglas defense got stiff and bowed their necks and got in there and stopped the play. But going with the 2 wide outs, they had to invert a DB and come up in coverage in order to cover the flat. So I don't know. I see them rolling coverage. It looks like they're walking up a man every once in a while and might not be in the position they really want to be in.
Walden taking it to the left side. Flag on the play. If it stands, he'll pick up 7 yards. But I believe we might be coming back. And it looks like the tight end, Dosey McBride, is not exactly happy, so it might be on him.
Well, I tell you what, we're looking at Plantation, number 71. Shapiro just came off the field limping, and he's been a pretty instrumental factor out there. I see him just walking it off a little bit, and they're kind of looking at his ankle, but you got a new uniform out there, so
repeat 2nd down.
Well, we saw the call. We'll probably hear it again in just a minute. They'll be repeating 2nd down.
Well, apparently not.
Well, I thought we might hear it again.
Give him more airtime, and he chose not to take it. You know?
Well, I know. I had a chance to be on TV and be a star there. Rich Kalura making the call.
So they split the backs on 2nd and 20. Schneider back to pass. Throws a beautiful out route, and he completes it to number 10, Dakari Finley. And Finley doing some nicey moves, picks up the first down. Finley is down the sideline and will be eventually knocked out at the 18-yard line. Beautiful play from Schneider to Finley.
Well, I tell you what, Snyder has shown an awful lot of poise in this backfield tonight. Again, that front of Plantation's doing a great job as far as giving him protection. But Snyder stepping up in the pocket, sitting there, and Finley did a fabulous job. Went down, looked like he was going to be stopped, broke across from 3 different tacklers, ran all the way across the side of the field, and eventually ends up picking up about 25 more yards. So nice play by everybody on the offense.
45-yard pickup by Schneider to Finley. Now the ball is given on an end around to Kevin Beard. And Beard will be brought down in a hurry by linebacker Justin Yoel.
Well, linebacker came across that time. That play was doomed from the start. Good penetration, came up on the blitz, walked right across. Didn't look like he was touched. And if he'd have been a little more patient and read the play, he might have taken the handoff.
2nd and 12. And it seems like all that early running that Plantation has done has kind of opened up some things in the secondary here for the Colonels in the second half.
Well, I think it has. We're seeing a little something on Douglas right now. I'm not sure whether they were doing it before, but looking at the way the linebackers and the strong is playing, and it's a tough
touchdown Colonels. While we were talking, Ryan Schneider turns around and finds Dakari Finley from 17 yards out, and the Colonels tack on 6 more points.
Well, that's what we were just talking about, too, is the fact that it has opened up a little bit. They're throwing the ball. Finley came out, did a little out and up, was covered either by a strong safety or linebacker, and that's no match on speed. Went to the out, looked like they had good coverage, turned it down the field. Snyder was patient again, put the ball down in the corner. Finley makes a nice catch. Intriago
in to handle the extra point, and it's no good. It's a little bit to the left. So the score, with 31 seconds remain, the Colonels lead the Douglas Eagles 26-0. And Coach, we talked about this as being probably the prime matchup of the evening. This is rather shocking.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised. Again, it's early in the season, and there have been some mistakes out here, and you can't make one mistake count any more than the other. But Plantation has come out with a good game plan tonight, and I know I've said this probably 100 times tonight. They seem like they attack the right side, but they've had success there, and with most of us that coach, you know, if you have a play that works, you don't change it. Let's go ahead and run it. When they stop it, then we'll go run something else. And they really haven't shut down what Coach Hepper is doing with the running game. Now we've seen Hepper come out, go to the passing game, a little out and up that time, got a mismatch with a speed person against it. Looked like a linebacker that had a coverage, did good coverage in the flat, but when he turned it up, there wasn't a speed there. Finley gets open. Snyder's patient, puts it in the corner. So Snyder's directing this offense, I think, very well. And I praise the offensive front for him because they're giving big holes for the running back. So Plantation's just doing a real good job of running the ball. But yeah, I'm a little surprised at where the score is right now and where the yardage is. Douglas just doesn't seem like they're clicking on all cylinders right now.
Well, I have Dakari Finley for 3 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Not a bad Thursday night for Dakari Finley, and the game's not even over yet. So Plantation kicks it off. And this time handling kick will be number... I'll have to take a peek at that one more time.
Wasn't sure who fielded the ball down there.
Looked like number 84, John Brown. So Douglas puts in a brand new kick returner. And Coach, this is a tough situation, especially for Coach Matheson. He's usually not down 26-0 entering the 4th quarter. But how do you coach a game like this when nothing seems to be going right and you're down by so many points?
Well, I'll get to that in just a second. After it looks like we're going to have a whistle here, so it's got to be encroachment or offside, one of the two. Procedure call.
So it'll be offsides, lining up offsides because the ball was never snapped. And that'll be the 4th penalty against Douglas this game for 40 yards. Cadiz back to pass. Looking for number 87, Mark Donaldson. Throws it a little bit high, and that'll set up a 2nd and 15.
Well, to go back to what you mentioned a minute ago, I don't know whether Douglas is having trouble or Plantation might be a lot better football team than maybe we thought coming into the season. They're certainly proving themselves right now because Douglas, I think, is one of the better teams in the county, playing an awfully tough district. I'm sure Coach Matheson is sitting over there. He's going to see a lot of things he has liked, but he's going to see an awful lot of things that he's going to get with these kids and tell them, hey, we've got to improve this or we're not going to be going for that 4th title in the district.
This time, Cadiz has nowhere to run as he's brought down by number 45, Albert Salas. And this is a tough situation for Douglas. They don't like to go primarily to the passing game, and that's what they seem to be doing.
Well, they seem like they're having, they're pulling it out of the hat now and saying, look, we've got to get to the air and make something happen. Quarterback doesn't have quite as much time. We've seen Snyder over here. He's got time to throw. Quarterback over here for Douglas is struggling and just doesn't have a chance to get it away. So
we played 3 in Plantation, and there you see the score. The Plantation Colonels are leading the Douglas Eagles 26-0. We'll be right back after this.
Over 7,000 people drown every year in our country. Never swim alone. And don't depend on flotation devices in deep water for personal safety. Check with a lifeguard about water conditions. Lifeguards save thousands of lives on our beaches each year. So remember, always swim near a lifeguard.
And welcome back to Plantation PAL Field for the Continental Cablevision Channel 19 Game of the Week. The Plantation Colonels lead the Stoneman Douglas Eagles 26-0. I'm Sean Alvashar, joined alongside by the former head coach of Coconut Creek High School, Al Milton. And Coach, we were saying in the break, you're frankly shocked.
Well, I really am. I'm real surprised at this point in time, and you made a good point too that this happened last year early in the season. Douglas came back to win their district. Douglas has got a lot of talent in a fine football club, and this was real early in the season, and sometimes it just doesn't go right for you.
So Cadiz on third down connects with William Lemonnier, but he will be eventually brought down by a host of Plantation Colonels. It looks like he'll pick up 4 yards on the play, but that won't be nearly enough because that'll make it 4th and 12.
Well, at this point in time, Douglas has just got to try to regroup, stay respectable in the game at this point, and move away from it.
So Dowling back to handle the punting duties. He's had 4 punts already in this game. Finley and Beard back to receive the kick. End-over-end kick. And it's going to take a huge bounce. And it'll be down at the 29-yard line. So 52-yard kick, aided by a 15-yard bounce. And Glenn Dowling looking for punter of the year.
Well, I tell you what, he's getting tested a lot tonight. You bet. He had a high snap that time, and judging from up here, it looked like when the snap came in, he did a nice job of bringing the ball down and getting it off. Didn't look like it was going to be that good a punt. Got a nice roll again, but I tell you, he's done an excellent job tonight in punting. And right now, I'd have to say it probably has been the highlight of the Douglas units.
Chad Fairchild, number 12. You see him on your monitor. Into the game. And they hand the ball off to Travis Walden. Harold Walden. And he is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of 1. They might give him forward progress, which I believe they will. So say no gain for Walden.
Well, you've got a new quarterback in. They're going to give him a little experience and give Snyder a little bit of a break now. 10 minutes or 11 minutes to go left in the game. Snyder's done an outstanding job tonight. I've been real surprised, maybe not surprised, but I've been I'm admiring the attributes that he's given to this team with his patience and with his command and his presence on the field. Going to give him a little rest now, a good, well-deserved rest, and give the young quarterback or the new quarterback a chance to get in and take some snaps.
Fairchild hands it to the up back, that being number, I believe that was number 6, Travis Madison. And Madison will pick up maybe a yard. That'll set up a third down situation for the Colonels.
Well, they haven't been in this position in a while with a 3rd and long. Early in the game, we saw several third down plays that they were successful on, and they had problems on the 4th down. We haven't seen too many 3rd and 9, which looks like what they're facing at this time.
First punt. The final book on Ryan Schneider, according to my book, 6 for 10, 141 yards and a touchdown pass. Not bad for 3 quarters of work from your quarterback, huh, Coach?
Outstanding job by Schneider tonight.
Walden takes the pitch, trying to turn the corner, but Craig Summerlot comes up and makes a beautiful open field tackle in the backfield. Probably dropped Walden for a good 2-3 yard loss.
Summerlot did a nice job of keeping the play, stretching it outside until he was able to get in and make contact. He wasn't going to let the back get outside him. We'll probably see that here. I think we got a replay coming up. Here you'll see the pitch and trying to go outside. You should see Douglas come in right here. Did a good job, made the tackle there, number 53. Didn't let it get outside. That was the outside linebacker. I'm sorry.
So Sean Thompson gets off the punt, and it's handled by number 24, Mark Cunningham. So in a sense, some good news for Douglas. They get the ball in Plantation territory at the 49, and at this point it might be a moral victory if Douglas can take the ball down the field and put some points on the board.
Well, I think it would be. I think that time we saw a pretty good little bit of play acting there by the punter. I think it was Thomason. Did a nice job, fell down, tried to get the call, didn't get it, but had a lot of pressure on him. Like you say, though, Douglas is in Plantation's territory.
Well, Douglas comes out and tries to run the wing T version of the hurry-up offense, but apparently some flags were thrown everywhere. Play was stopped dead.
I don't think they ever got set that time. Still looked like a little bit of movement. We'll see the call.
Well, the penalty will go against Plantation, so chalk 5 yards up. Make it 1st and 5 for Stoneman Douglas.
Well, I guess I didn't see any movement on that Douglas side. So 5 yards gives them a little bit of penetration. They're trying to move it in a hurry, though.
Duval Edwards, the new quarterback for Douglas, and they hand the ball off to number 20, Romelos Word. And Word's able to pick up 5 yards. It's going to be very close to a 1st down.
Sean, when you look in on the Plantation defense right now, you see that we have an awful lot of looks like pretty clean uniforms out there.
Let's take a look at this one more time, Coach.
Well, we got the replay coming. We get the handoff coming off the left side. You'll see a couple of people coming in, a couple tackles made or missed. Looked like the free safety came up and actually finished off the play, but what we couldn't see on the replay is did look like a couple of new players in the game. I'm not sure the outside linebacker on this side was set. Looked like he was still shifting around. Douglas attacked that side and ended up with a little bit of a gain there.
.8:28 remains here in the 4th quarter of play. As you saw on your monitor, Douglas just a little bit short, although they have a 1st down marked on the far side. As we said, Duval Edwards, or excuse me, 2nd and 1. And the ball is given to number 26, Dom Sansoni, and Sansoni just pulls his way forward. It looks like he'll pick up 5 yards on a 1st down. Only the 4th 1st down for Douglas in this game.
Well, Sansoni's done a pretty good job tonight in running, and you know, like I say, the Douglas offense just hasn't been able to break through this defensive front. Might have a little bit of success right now, which would certainly pick the offense up a little bit if they could get a score on the board here with 8 minutes left to go in the game.
Well, I don't know if we can get a shot of it, but the Douglas band is having a great time. Duvall Edwards tries to throw one out to the flats, looking for number 35, Louis Rosselli. Incomplete pass. That'll set up 2nd and 10.
Well, trying to throw that little out, catch him off balance, and see if they can hit that out, get that man to turn it up, get a match between the receiver or the back that's got the ball on the corner and try to make something work. A little bit underthrown, couldn't hold on to it.
2nd and 10. The ball again is given to Romelos Word, and Word turns the corner and picks up probably 6 yards.
Word did a nice job that time, got some good blocking out in front of him, was able to pick up some positive yardage. Douglas is still coming in hard. We got the replay here. You see the handoff going off the right side. Nice cut by the running back, number 20. Got a good block on the outside. Put his head down, tried to get some extra yardage, probably picked up a couple. So Douglas has got a chance now with a 3rd and looks like a short 4.
Well, it hasn't mattered what the 3rd down situation is in this game because Douglas is 0 for 7 in 3rd down conversions in this ball game. The ball is given to number 26, Dom Sansoni, and he is pushing his way forward. And it looks like he will have enough for the 1st down.
Well, again, Sansoni's running hard. I think it's probably a personal thing with him right now to try to pick up some yardage. I think he's done a good job all night long. We haven't seen a lot of the big running back, Cherketsky, tonight, and not real sure why, but maybe because Plantation shut it down, but we haven't seen a lot of him.
This time the ball is given to number 20, Romelos Word. And it looks like he'll pick up 5. Let me take a look at that again. He picks up 3 yards. Excuse me. Let's take a look at this again.
Well, you get the handoff. Number 86 comes up. Nice job on cutting up. 86 comes up, makes a nice tackle from that end position. Shuts the play down, which if he gets by that end, nobody was on him. Played it, turned it inside him, and made the tackle.
Once again, Word gets the carry, and he will be brought down by number 86 from the Colonel, Scott Paget.
Well, they're running a lot of time off the clock. They're down. They got the ball, I think, with about 11 minutes to go.
And, Coach, this is exactly what you were talking about. Take some plays. Go over and say, here are the 3-4 plays we're going to run. We'll put in our second stringers. And you have to say something about Douglas. They don't quit. Down 26-0, 6 minutes left to go in the game. Obviously, the game is well in hand for the Colonels. Yet these kids, like you said, Dom Sansoni is out there running with a purpose. I don't think he wants to go home with a shutout. And as, of course, that's the 6-minute mark, the Florida High School Activities Association mandated water break is happening right now, so we have some time to talk about the situation with Douglas.
Well, I tell you what, if Frank Hepler saw the Coconut Creek Douglas game a couple years ago, we were up by about 3 touchdowns going into the last 2 minutes of the game and feeling pretty smug. And I'll have to be honest with you, we put in a lot of second teamers too. And next thing we know, Douglas got a score, kicked off, got an onside, recovered it, scored, did it again, got another onside, and we lost the ball game. Seemed like it was like 43-37 or 41, something like that. And you know, again, you can never count this Douglas team out. Coach Matheson is going to coach it all the way down, and these kids are going to play it to the last minute, and anything can happen. I mean, 26 points seems insurmountable, but things can happen.
Will Edwards back to pass, throws it into the end zone, and nearly completes the pass down at the goal line. He was looking for number 86, Gerald Burley. And that would have gotten it ball down to the 1-yard line. And, Coach, maybe from your words to Matheson's ears, they were almost in the end zone right there.
Well, they really are. They're going for it, and they're trying. They're doing all they can, and that's what I've always respected about Douglas and their players and their coaching staff. They're never out of a game, and I don't think their players ever feel that they're out of a game. It's just some nights the luck goes with you and sometimes it doesn't. And that play there, it's a difference now is they're going for a third down play, it looks like, instead of a fourth down play instead of a score.
So on fourth down, Edwards back to pass. He's going to tuck it under, but he slips on the surface of the field. He'll go down at the line of scrimmage, and the ball will be turned over. So the Douglas Eagles did a pretty good job, gaining about 25 yards on the drive, but it stalls at the 25-yard line.
Well, it did. A missed opportunity there on the play before when they didn't get the ball down on the 1-yard line. Quarterback tried to run. They got a lot of rain down here today, from what I understand, and we all know how that's been all week long. A little bit of a wet field, and the quarterback slips down. So a missed opportunity to put 6 on the board, but Douglas is still very much playing the game.
Stay ready.
So Chad Fairchild comes out once again to direct the offense for the Colonels. And Coach, talking a little bit about the surface. Well, hang on a second. There's a timeout on the field from the Douglas Eagles. Apparently some confusion. Looks like only 10 players came out to play defense for Douglas, and you know there's 5:31 left. You know you still have to play all 11.
Well, a little mental lapse on a player on the sideline, didn't get in. So you got a timeout there by Douglas. Had to use the timeout because they had 10 men. They didn't want to get the penalty, so had to waste a timeout there in order to get the right number of players on the field. One of those plays, one of those calls, Sean, that you don't like to call because, again, if you are fortunate enough to get back in the game, I don't know if they can at this point in time with 5.5 minutes, but, if you're able to get back in, you get an onside, you got a chance to ever go for that score, you got to have that timeout where you can use it when you need it, and that's a wasted timeout.
And there was a situation where the Douglas band really started to kick in and start playing during the timeout while the coaches were out talking to the players, and it might be a little bit too late for that, but I know you're not entirely against using the band for your own evil purposes. So, 1st and 10 for the Plantation Colonels. This time the ball is handed off to number 30, Keith Crum, a senior running back. And funny enough, that's the first senior running back in the game who's carried the ball. The other 3, if we can go through this, Madison, Walden, and Campbell are juniors, and O'Neal Standiford is a sophomore.
They've used a lot of running backs tonight, and you're right, first senior running back we've seen. And, yeah, it's an interesting note you just made a minute ago on the band. The Douglas band has been active tonight, and a lot of times your bands, they bring a lot of spirit and a lot of get up and go to the field. You're right. I used to communicate with my band. I had as many signals to my band as I had to my players sometimes, so my band helped me win an awful lot of games at Coconut Creek.
This time the ball is handed off to number 34, Kendrick Badger, a junior, and he's able to go off tackle and pick up the first down. And you have to think right now, Coach Hepler wants to use his running backs, would like just to consume a lot of clock. And not really, this is not a situation where you go to the air.
Well, it looks like we had a fumble on the ball that time. We'll see. Hadn't got the official call yet.
Well, it was a fumble. You caught that faster than I did, Coach, and Douglas has taken possession on the fumble. It must have happened when they were all bunched up in the middle. Let's take a look at it.
Well, here we have the handoff. It's going in. Looks like it's clean at this point. Getting into traffic here. You can see the running back going, trying to switch hands, and that's where maybe he made the mistake. Good job by our camera crew tonight. Picked that up, had a nice close shot. Running back was trying to switch the ball from the left to right, never got it seated. Got a hit there, ball came loose. A break with 4.5 minutes to go for Douglas, and you see Douglas coming out. The band's fired up. Hey, they want to get down and put some boards on the board.
Super replay. This time the ball is handed to the up back, Dom Sansoni, and Sansoni picks up 15 yards and a first down.
I tell you what, Sansoni this last quarter has, I think the Douglas offense right now sits back and looks up at 26-0, and they say, let's don't get shut out, guys. Let's put some points on the board. Let's not have a shutout. Sansoni is doing an outstanding job running the ball and running hard right now. Hit 3 or 4 times in the line, a couple times by the linebacker, still picked up big yardage for Douglas.
Absolutely the type of kid you'd want on your football team. And it looks like we have some movement.
Well, Douglas got up on the ball and got set quick that time. We might have caught Plantation.
You are correct, Coach. Offsides against the Plantation Colonels. And that's their 5th penalty for 45 yards in this ball game. Hasn't really affected the outcome so much, but it does give Douglas a fighting chance to get into the end zone.
Well, it gets them a chance to get up. We'll probably see right here. We got a little movement. They weren't lined up. Looked like, yep. In high school ball, you can't break the plane of that ball and get back. Once you do it, the call's there, so you had an encroachment call.
This time the ball is handed off to number 20, Romelos Word. And Word probably picked up 2 yards on the play. And that'll set up a 2nd and 3 situation for the Eagles. 3:53 remains in the ball game.
Nice tackle that time by number 41. I don't have his name up here with me right now, but 41 made a nice tackle on the outside there. It looked like we had a big gain going into the end zone there for Douglas, but nice open field tackle.
And how about the offense led by this backup quarterback, Duval Edwards? This time the ball, I believe, was given to Samsoni yet again. Samsoni does carry the ball, picks up the first down with a 5-yard carry.
Well, attack him right up the middle off the right side. Here you see it. Fake to the fullback hand it off to the first back. And Douglas has had success with that tonight. That's awfully quick to hand off to the first back. He's still having to read that tailback coming on a wider angle. It's been a successful play for him.
Word gets the ball, bounces to the outside, and he will be into the end zone. Touchdown, Douglas.
Well, that was a nice job by Ward that time. He started to break it up, made a little juke step outside, then that was a race between him and the corner to get into the end zone. That's a big thing here in this game tonight. 3 minutes left to go. Douglas has just gotten up on the board, but there's no shutout. We'll see coming up on the replay. Here you go to the second back, cuts it up into the middle. Nothing's there, gets kicked back, bounces out to the outside. In fact, bumped into his own guy. Just a foot race between him and the corner to get on in and get the score. It's not a shutout anymore. It's a good moral thing to build on right now. The offense can feel at least comfort in the fact that they did something in the game tonight and didn't get shut out.
Glenn Dowling will be out to handle the kicking duties, and we have an immediate flag on the play. And some sloppy play. We saw some pretty clean football for 3 quarters. But after Plantation was able to put 26 points on the board, some sloppy play from the Colonels.
Well, Sean.
And this time it was sloppy play on the Douglas Eagles. Back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, we got a procedure call on Douglas that time. But what we're seeing on Plantation is a lot of young kids that hadn't been able to get into the game, and they're anxious, and they're getting up there, and they've just been crowding the ball a little bit. But I know the Plantation defense certainly isn't proud of that score that just went against them, because they were, again, a victory for them would have been a shutout.
The 25-yard extra point attempt from Dowling is up. And it is good. So make the score 26-7 with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Here from PAL Field, this is week 2. Both of these teams came into this game at 1-0. And it looks like the Colonels will move on to a 2-0 record, but they cannot be happy about giving up a late touchdown like that.
Well, I don't think they'll be happy, and but this will be something that defense will get together, and you know, it's a big victory, and they'll enjoy it. But when they get on the field Monday, that first unit defense is going to be looking and saying, hey, guys, we had a shutout going. That's a big statistic for that defensive coordinator and for those players on the field. So that's going to be something for them to build on, though, and that's going to be something where when the younger players get a chance to get in, too, they're going to sit back and say, hey, we've got to play to the caliber if we want to start. We've got to play to the caliber that's being set for us if we're going to be a championship team and a championship caliber team. So, you know, I think both teams have plenty tonight they can lead the game with, even with it being a little offside in the score. They've got things they can build on that they're proud of, and they've got things, obviously, they've done wrong that they're going to be able to correct.
So Dowling out to handle the kickoff duties. You have to wonder if maybe they might go with an onside kick. But they decide to kick it deep. Back to handle the kick will be number 11, Willie Webb. And Webb hitting the wedge, but then is brought down in a hurry. It looks like number 43, Blake Overfelt, came in with the big tag on Willie Webb. So the Colonels will come out and begin their offensive series on the 30-yard line with 3:02 remaining.
Well, again, you did. You had that middle wedge. You can see here with the players coming off the field, the Plantation players, they're excited. They've had a good time. We've got a replay, I think, coming up on the kickoff. You watch the wedge form right up in front. to miss the block on the outside. You see the wedge form, but you got a player coming in from the outside. The back was just a little bit, here comes the tackle. Back was just a little bit too far out behind the wedge and couldn't get up in there and use it.
So the ball is handed off to number 30 of the Colonels, Crum. Keith Crum, and he'll battle his way up for about 8 yards. Make that now 2nd and 2.
Crum did a good job that time of hitting the hole, hitting it quick. Plantation has done it all night long. They've been able to hit quick. Probably what we'll see these last 2 minutes is going to be a lot of backs going in. We're seeing almost all clean pants out there on the Plantation side of the ball right now. So Frank Hepler's getting a chance to really get all his players in the game and get some work out of them and give these kids a chance to help part of the victory.
Badger this time gets the ball. And Badger's probably going to lose 2 yards. Badger, of course, was the man who fumbled the ball, which led to Douglas's scoring drive. And that time he really didn't cleanly handle the pitch to him. So Badger's having some problems hanging on to the football this evening.
Yeah, I think we saw that time with Badger. I think he wanted to make sure, you know, anytime you fumble the ball, you feel bad about it. You think it's your you know, it's a responsibility as a running back that you just don't do. That's the taboo thing. You don't put the ball on the ground. I think that time we saw Badger come out and he ran just a little tentative because he was making sure he had the ball covered and protected. And yet he's a good running back. He's just got to run and cover the ball at the same time.
So 3rd and 1. Plantation is 5 for 13 on 3rd down conversions. The ball is handed to the up back, number 30, Crum, once again, and he'll have enough for the 1st down.
Well, there again, we see Plantation going to that first back. It's quick hit, and it hits the hole hard. They're coming right straight at them, and they've been able to pick up some 1st downs.
So 1:22 remains here in the 4th quarter of play. Plantation obviously just running the clock out.
Well, I think they're running the clock out, and like I said a minute ago, Coach Hepler's getting a chance to play all his kids, get everybody in, let them be a part of the victory, and that's going to pay off for him later in the season because these kids are going to have experience.
Badger with the carry. And Badger pushing forward for maybe 3 yards.
Douglas defense is, you know, at this point in time, with as much as they've been in the game, I thought I would see a little more fatigue than what I'm seeing, but these young men from Douglas are in good shape. Doesn't seem that fatigue is coming in. We've got a replay coming up here, I believe, on that last play. Here you'll see him hit the hole, got a nice block, couple of young linemen in there. Still made positive yardage, even though a couple of people slid off the blocks.
And the final play of the game is handed off to number 30, Keith Crum. Number 30, he hands the ball, big stick, and that will be the final play of this football game. A little bit of surprising outcome. Not that Plantation won, but the way they won, Coach. The final score 26-7.
Yeah, I'm real surprised that the score was that way. We had a fumble. We got one more play here. It looks like 17 seconds. We had a fumble on that last play. A good stick. I didn't see who it was by Douglas. I think you're going to see Douglas go to the air right now and see if they can get it. Go the long ball and see if they can put a point up.
Well, the ball is handed to Samsoni, and Samsoni is a man on a mission. Too bad we don't have another quarter.
Well, I tell you what, I certainly didn't call that. I thought we'd go to the air and try to put it up, but Sansoni has run the ball real well, especially in this all night long, but especially in the second half and late in the game, and he's done a good job.
Well, we have a officials timeout. There's an injury on the field, number 50 from the Colonels, Whitney Hankerson. So that'll probably give Douglas a chance to run one more play. If you're wondering on Samsoni's numbers, he's carried the ball in this game 6 times for 45 yards. He's also caught 2 passes for 3 yards. So pretty good night for Samsoni, but he's really made his mark here in the second half. And the final play of the game is given to Romelos Word, and Word puts it upfield for 9 yards, and that'll be the final play of this ball game.
Well, Sean, a minute ago we thought the game was over, and you made the statement where we were a little surprised, and I think we both are. We came in before the game, talked about it, and we felt like this might be a 28-27, a one-point game, a field goal game, a one-touchdown type thing, and as it turned out, it was a little bit lopsided, even more lopsided maybe than the score showed, because Plantation really dominated tonight. Their offense ran well. Their running back showed that they have 3 or 4 running backs that are probably just as good as any in the county. And they haven't missed too much from last year. They lost McKenzie, of course, because he's too old, but those other running backs jumped in and did a great job tonight. Doesn't look like they've missed a thing since ending their season last year.
Well, one of the most surprising things in preseason, when the 6A poll came out, Plantation came in at number 9. And we talked last week as we did the Dillard game that Asa Francis, the number 13th best player in the state, of course, that's how he's ranked, transferred to Dillard. They lost their running back. And I guess some people knew some things that we didn't know because it was a little bit surprising. But after tonight, you have to say they've really earned now it is number 8 ranking in the state of Florida.
Well, I think you're right. They came in tonight. They're obviously they're carrying over from last year. They're playing well. They've got a lot of talent. They had a lot of talent backing everybody up last year. They lost a couple of very important ball players to them, but in most times a championship team, they're not riding on 1 or 2 ball players. They're riding on a team effort and unity among 45 or 50 kids. I think that's what we're seeing in Plantation. They played very well as units tonight.
So, the final score here from PAL Field and Plantation. The Plantation Colonels defeat the Douglas Eagles 26-7. We're going to take a quick timeout, and the coach and I will move down to the field where we'll talk to the winning coach, Frank Hepler, and the player of the game. So stay with us.
When the heavens thunder, when the nation calls, come on, you can make a difference and be a part of it all.
Find yourself in the Army National Guard, serving 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year, and you'll find an extra paycheck, money for college, and a great way to serve your community. Call 1-800-GO-GUARD.
In the Army National Guard.
Television Channel 19 Game of the Week. There you see the score. The Colonels defeat the Douglas Eagles 26-7, and the coach, Al Milton, is down with Plantation's head coach, Frank Hepler, and the player of the game.
Hi, Al Milton on the sideline after the game with Douglas and Plantation. A little bit of a surprising score. Standing here with the winning coach, Frank Hepler, 26-7. Seemed like, Frank, that nothing changed from last year. We came right in. You rolled. It seemed like an easy victory from our standpoint, but let's get your views on it.
Well, Al, the kids were excited about playing their first game at home, to open the season at home. And we've got some real good young players, and they come to play each night. And we had some things happen this summer. A lot of people, I think, counted us out and stuff like that, but these kids have stepped up, worked their butts off, and I think we're ready to go.
Where'd all these running backs come from? 4 or 5 running backs in the game tonight. I tell you what, you lost McKenzie over the summer, and everybody kind of thought that might hurt the team. You got 4 or 5 running backs came in, did an outstanding job tonight.
Yeah, these young kids, some of them played last year as backups to Kevin and learned some things from him, and some of the kids played on our JV program, and our coaches down there are doing a great job sending some good kids. So, and our offensive line's doing a real nice job also, so I'm real happy with those young kids on the offense.
Well, I've got the player of the game here, Ryan Snyder, and got to be a good feeling for you. Your dad's the offensive coordinator, Ryan. We chose you tonight. Showed a lot of poise, came out in the second quarter. You sat very firm, very patient in the pocket, put a nice touch on the ball, made some different things happen in the second half. How you feel about the game?
I feel good. The offensive line gave me a lot of protection. The receivers were catching the ball, so everything went good.
Well, I tell you what, I think you're going to have to take the offensive line out tonight and buy them all some hamburgers. And according to what I saw on the field, that'd be a whole lot of hamburgers. Ryan, you're a senior this year, is that correct?
No, I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore this year. I had to bring that out because I think all the other teams that are going to be looking at a sophomore lead a team like this tonight show some great things for Plantation in the future and for you. How you feel about being so young and starting off?
Well, I have a good raising, and my parents, taught me good. So I just come out here and try to do the best I can, and, I have a lot of talent around me, so I just try to give the ball to different people and let them do their stuff.
Well, you did a great job tonight. I want to congratulate you as the player of the game for Channel 19, and Frank, I want to congratulate you. I'm certainly glad, like I said earlier, not coaching against you. I want to wish you well. You did a great job. 2-0. You got to be extremely excited and happy about the prospects coming up. Congratulations to you, Ryan. Congratulations to you. That's it from the field. We'll turn it back over to Sean Abishire upstairs.
Thanks a lot, Coach. So once again, the final score from PAL Field, the Plantation Colonels defeat the Douglas Eagles 27-6. And if you were curious, the unofficial numbers on Ryan Schneider, 6 for 10, 141 yards, and a touchdown. So, and I'm being noted that the Colonels won this game 26-7. They turned off the scoreboard. It says 0-0 for all I know. Hey, it's been a long night. So we'd like to thank everybody for watching, and don't forget to tune in to us next week for the Continental Cablevision Channel 19 Game of the Week. Once again, the final score, Plantation 26, Douglas 7. I knew I'd get it right. Have a good night, everyone.